Hello, it's Kathy with Waste.Not.Upcycled. I'm a full-time teacher and a part-time reseller. I have 2 booths, a Poshmark closet, and I sell on Etsy. I spent the summer sourcing, and now that I'm back in school, it's time to switch my videos over to fun do-it-yourselves. So welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if do-it-yourselves and thrift hauls are your thing. For today's project, we're going to make these adorable fabric non-slip hangers. As a reseller, I was often picking up clothing with stains or holes that were not fixable and accumulated a ton of fabric. So you're going to need fabric, any kind will work. You're going to need hangers, and if you have those little doohickey things, you'll want to snap those right off. I recommend just plain straight hangers with not much on them. It'll be much easier, and it really doesn't matter what color you use. You'll need a glue gun, glue sticks, and scissors. So here I am, I decided to use this fabric. There's a couple little holes that were in it and it wasn't fixable, but I really liked the texture. I'm gonna layer mine, so I'm gonna also use a second fabric that was given to me by my mom. It was old curtains that just were not working anymore. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and cut the fabric into strips. You really do not need that many. You'll get a lot of hangers out of one shirt. And the nice thing about certain fabrics is they just rip. So I love using cotton because once you get it started, you can kind of tear it into strips. And the strips I usually make are maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch wide. And the length is usually like my arm length, no big deal. So like I said, that cotton, when you pull it, it has a really cool distressed look. So that's why I like to use that. First, to start off, you're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue, and you can really start anywhere. I'm just choosing to start at the tip of the hanger. And one of the things you definitely need to remember as you're pulling around and around, you want to pull it tight. So you want to make it really, really, really tight as you're pulling. You're kind of using your strength. I usually hot glue it maybe every 2 to 3, 3 to 4, just to really secure that fabric. I'll put another little bit of hot glue, hold it tight, and once again, continue to go tight around. When I hit that kind of middle part, that's my favorite. I wrap around it numerous times just to give it kind of a fun look, but I definitely use a lot of hot glue to secure it. Now these hangers, when I started selling these, gosh, it was probably a couple years ago. It was first in my Poshmark closet, and then on Instagram Lives, I would sell them, and I sold tons and tons of these hangers. Most of it, like I said, was in my Poshmark closet, and I'd bundle them in kind of 3s or 4s and sell them for anywhere from $12 to $15. I also sold a couple in my Etsy closet, and then a couple in my booths, but I'm actually really gearing up to sell a lot more in my booths, and I actually plan to just kind of take those cute wooden ladders that you put blankets over and just put a bunch of different fabric hangers to choose from. If you're not a reseller, this is an amazing gift idea. So I've had a lot of friends who've bought these from me and created gift baskets. One friend did it for a bridal shower, which was a cute idea. She bundled a bunch of white ones that I had created. So here I am getting to the end. Once you get to the end, you're gonna secure that. And then you're just gonna go ahead and start with another layer of fabric right over it. I always hold it tight a little bit and then just go start it right at that beginning. I overlap it. And I do double check when I'm done to make sure that, there's no gaps. With white, on white, it's not as bad to see. I mean, you can always go back over it. I've taken little scraps and covered if I needed to. I mean, you do not need to match your fabric colors with your hangers, but it definitely helps if you do. So another gift idea, if you're giving clothing for the holidays, I've done it before where I have an outfit and then I've bundled that outfit with a cute hanger that matches. And I'm working on a bunch for my own closet as well. So I've gotten to the end. I'm gonna go ahead and secure that last piece, make it tight. I usually flip it over and just glue it. I don't even bother cutting it. And there you can see I have a little bit of a gap, but I already know that I'm gonna be layering it, so it's not a huge deal. So I'm gonna take that lace and I'm gonna do the same exact thing, except for I'm not gonna wrap it so close. So I'm just gonna spread and wrap it a lot wider apart. So it just kind of layers over it. And do the same thing. You're gonna go ahead and glue it in small portions, hot glue it so it's secure. And I've used all kinds of fabric. I mean, if you have old shirts, like I had t-shirts that my boys had gone through and grew out of that were just, I didn't even feel comfortable donating. Maybe there's a bad stain on it. This is a fantastic way to upcycle any of that extra fabric that you just don't even feel comfortable, that you don't feel comfortable even donating. So it kind of goes back to a good use. I do also spray it when it's done with like kind of a fabric mist so it has a good smell to it. Now you may have noticed that I was able to kind of clip it into my she shed on my workbench, something new that I had. In the past, I literally would just kind of hold it myself, sometimes between my legs, whatever worked to kind of keep it still for me. So here I am finishing up both sides. And I'm gonna go ahead, there's one I've done before, and I'm gonna layer them in 3. And I take more fabric, any kind of fabric, and I create all of my bows, most of my bows out of fabric. When I send packages with Poshmark, I wrap them up with fabric, old fabric strips. Gift baskets, gifts, boxes, just that textured look, I think looks so cute, and it's just a great way to reuse that fabric. So there it is. I love all the different fun textures. I've also made bracelets as well, which is the same exact thing using plastic bracelets. For the second project, we're gonna make these cute fabric chic pumpkins out of that same exact white fabric. So you're gonna need those scissors, a plastic bag. You can use fabric from the same shirts. You can use any colors you want. I'm just gonna do a bunch of white ones, and I have some orange fabric as well to put in my booth. So what you're gonna do is go ahead and, again, they're perfectly imperfect is what I call them. I'm gonna layer that fabric, and then in the middle, you're just gonna take a plastic bag. I have tons of those. It's a great way to upcycle them, just to create that center. I mean, you can always do this if you have pillow fluff, or later on you'll see I added additional fabric. Truly anything you wanna upcycle for this. And then I had some wooden pieces that I'm gonna use for that stem, so I decided on this one. So you're gonna go ahead. I was debating between, I'm definitely using that little one. That one works out. So you're gonna go ahead and wrap up that plastic bag. And again, this is a no-sew project. And I'm gonna be sticking the stem like right in the middle. So I'm gonna kind of wrap up that first fabric, and the reason I'm wrapping that is I'm gonna be hot gluing that stem into place, and I obviously do not wanna melt that plastic bag. So that fabric is gonna hold it down more secure. instead of melting the bag. So I'm gonna hot glue in the center. And truly, like, you can use, wood from your trees, anything will work. This is probably, it was off of my shed while it was being built. There are just so many pieces of wood. I think that's where I got that from. So you're gonna hot glue that stem into place, kind of hold it. And as you're folding the pieces around, just kind of filling it in, as you're folding it, you're gonna wanna glue it on kind of that wood as well as a little bit underneath to hold it into place. Now, I'm not too worried about like, is this gonna stay or not? I'm obviously gonna glue it secure, but then later on, we're gonna go in with twine and wrap around it. So I folded it in to give it that fullness. As you can tell, I'm not like too super concerned about what it looks like quite yet around the bottom. And I do a lot of tucking in as I glue it. And this again can be done with any kind of fabric. I mean, you can kind of pull in blues, whites, oranges, browns, anything fun. Okay. So I fold it. What I discovered when I kind of looked at it was like it didn't have the fullness that I wanted. So I decided to go in. I had to pull it apart because that's how I operate. And I'm gonna add some more fabric. I'm gonna add fabric on top of it to it. So I added a tiny bit of fabric to it just to give it a little bit more oomph. And then I'm gonna go ahead and secure it once again. So I'm gonna hot glue that piece back in. Hold it, and that was much better. Now I'm going to use the twine to kind of give it those dimples, if you will, for the pumpkin. So you're going to notice that I cut out some twine, and then I'm going to glue it. And like when I glue the twine onto the wood, I'm going to leave a little bit at the top. So I'm able to hold that down and secure it. And wrap it tight again. The tighter you pull it, the more of a dimple it gets. So I'm going to do it to the front and then the sides as well. Now I love to decorate in three, so I can completely vision like a really giant pumpkin, a middle-sized, and a little one in the same colors but different textured fabrics. So I'm going to do it to the side. At this point, I'm grabbing anything to hold it so my fingers won't get burnt. And again, pull it really tight. Pretty simple. So truly, like, that's fabric. Old bags from the grocery store. You know, you can use, like I said, any kind of filler like that polyfiber, twine. And hold it once again. So So these, I think, would definitely make a cute basket filler, like a ton of these little pumpkins in my booth. I think that would be fun for fall. There we go. I definitely could picture like putting curly Q, like green around it, or adding cute tags that say, you know, fun fall sayings. So there it is, the upcycled fabric pumpkin. Thanks for watching. If you have any additional fabric upcycled crafts that you'd like to share, definitely comment down below. And be sure to subscribe and like for future videos. Thanks for watching.